Hey guys, BMers and here back to another video. Today back with more Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. In the last episode we finished off the investigation and now we're about to start the class trial. The trickster Nagito was brutally murdered. His unpredictable death has left a looming shadow of mystery in the hearts of Hajime and the others. Who is the traitor? What was the clue that Nagito left? Will they be able to see the light within the darkness between hope and despair? I don't know. Let's just go because this class trial is... Whoa, this one's heavy.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this I'm gonna pause for a bit. Like I said, I do remember Chapter 5 very well, because Nagito, as one of my favorite characters, did die, and I don't remember, like, of course I don't remember every single little detail of the class trial, but I do remember some of the more important bits, like, you know, who the culprit was, like, you know, the Panatalk actions, who the traitor is, which, spoiler, if you guys don't know, the traitor is the culprit, but I'm not gonna say who the traitor or culprit is. You guys, and when I first found out who the culprit was, wow, okay, I was not expecting that at all. I don't think anybody who played Danganronpa 2 for the first time without knowing anything about what's happening in Chapter 5 would expect what's gonna happen. So, yeah, this one's pretty heavy, and so is the next chapter. These two chapters are actually pretty heavy. This one for me is heavy because, you know, Nagito is my favorite character in this game, or one of my favorite characters in this game, and then the culprit was someone you would just never expect to do something like this. But Nagito, you know what? I'm gonna stop right there before I just ramble on and spoil something by accident. Let's keep going.
During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
Monami.
Oh my! Monami? My cute little sister? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit? Chesto!
What? Well, that was Whoa, Monami. Why are you just staying there?
One more time!
Are we gonna see, like, every attack ever?
How about this one?
Hold on.
Final blow!
Monami, what are you doing?
It's useless.
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monami. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who is attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor, that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Bro, he's the one who kept accusing everyone else.
Don't say something so stupid. There's no way in hell I'm the traitor.
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or...
The killer didn't take Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
No, that's wrong.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared.
What? Come on, Kazuichi, you can't break through this.
I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Kazuichi, stupid. Kazuichi, you're literally just doing this to impress Sony, aren't you? The duct tape is the main thing for this.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. He wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention. This is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's
I
location.
can't cut, otherwise I'll end it.
Then, after they killed him,
Allow me to cut through those words.
Bro, I just got done playing Persona 4 Golden. Well, I didn't get done playing it. I finished the final boss. And Johnny Young Bosch as the villain in the game. Wow, okay. Props to Johnny, because he did a great job as the villain of the game. Which I'm probably going to play Persona 4 next on this channel after I finish Danganronpa. But also as the voice of Hajime, he does such a good job. And okay, you know what? He's my favorite. He's one of my favorite voice actors. So
No.
I need to not fangirl right now.
Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
what did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? Might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors. We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why do you always side with Hajime? You have a crush on him or something?
I mean, have you seen the anime? Are you in elementary school or something?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds, which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so he wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer? If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
Can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse. Yeah, and right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back. Which means it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this. Some kind of setup? Like what? I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
That's our Miss Sonia. You have such an amazingly high intellect.
Just give up already, dude.
Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is!
The reason for the fire, huh? They're right. We need to clear that up first. Well, I don't know what's up with my throat today. Or my ability to speak, really.
The direct cause of the fire was the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
What the? Hey, you can't do that.
Kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
Oh.
They probably just threw the lighter.
When?
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, I can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way? Maybe they used invisible thread.
Visible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
No.
Or perhaps opening the door caused...
I agree with that. I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought. It was the wind pressure.
No, it wasn't.
The dust devil blown here from glorious Japan.
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels. A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
Domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over? In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
The killer did one other thing to hide a domino effect. The music. Where is it? Here we are.
I see! You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because our eyes were so... Wait, should I really be reading this? It's not really much of anything to say. Or to read. We already been through this like 3 episodes ago.
So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling. But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse. So the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel. And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter. Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door. Because the panel was blocking it, right? But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
If that door was the only entrance to the warehouse, I see. So the problem Chiaki is talking about is the killer couldn't have left.
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used. You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Huh?
You don't mean...
But if that's true, this murder...
Hajime? What do you mean?
The person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse. There's only one person who could have done that. Man, I'm like starting to remember how I felt when I first played this game. And it was, might be still beat up back there.
What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know. He wasn't just the victim. Maybe. Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too.
Maybe.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid. His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
Ah! Crap, I'm sorry. I almost started a call with one of my friends on Skype. They were messaging me. Like you said, it seems impossible if you think about it, but I feel like I'm looking over something. I'm overlooking something. Yes, I'm definitely looking. I'm looking over the damn camera to look at this game. To
actually tie up your own arms and legs.
No! Damn it! Damn it!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
Damn it.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke. Is that a dirty joke?
Yeah, it is. If our assumption that Nagito committed suicide is correct, Nagito should have tied himself up too. That's okay, right?
To actually tie up...
Yes! Oh my god, I almost knocked over my lamp. I like hit my lamp and I almost knocked it off the friggin' desk.
Hold on a second. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
The proof that the burnt rope on Nagito's right arm is a trap is his sleeve.
I see! Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, the sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that
Oops.
should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
That's definitely wrong.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand. That much is obvious.
Hajime, you tricked me! Give me back that Benjamin!
He never gave you a Benjamin! Not only did she try to charge me, now she wants the money back? What the heck?
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
A way to stab yourself in your right hand using only your right hand. It's okay. There's definitely an answer for this.
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air
Nah.
and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way? Is he a throwing knife expert?
No.
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
I agree with that. The life-size Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something. A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem.
The spear?
The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right? If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then he probably took the spear first, and as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
There is a limit to his constitution.
Yeah, if he did that, he would just bled out.
If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Man, when I first played this game, I did not realize how many dirty jokes are in here. Kazuichi!
Sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Kazuichi!
Like I said, if you got
Done!
penetrated by
Shut it, Sonia!
thick, you would die instantly.
Say it one more time.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out.
Yeah, thanks, Fuyuhiko.
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stab into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
So you're saying it's impossible?
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else. I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone.
Suddenly you're healed.
If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Monami sassing me.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far. This might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Yes!
Of course, that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
God damn it.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone. No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer, but suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
She said it'd be hard, not possible.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now.
Yeah, well, up till now it's been a pretty cool class trial, but we're going to have to save more of it for the next episode. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!